Hi, I'm Sarah from the upcoming. Pleasure to have you both here with us today. Maybe you could just begin with a very, very brief introduction to this incredible film. We will start with you, Kamila. If you give us a brief synopsis, and then you can tell us a bit about your character.
Hi, I'm Kamila Andini. I'm the director of Nana, Before Now and Then. So Before Now and Then, or Nana, is a story about a woman, a Sundanese woman in Indonesia during 1960s. This film talks about secrets and also paradox of what happened in Indonesia right after independence, not only in the institution side as in the country, but also in the smallest institution as a household and marriage itself. It's a very delicate film that I try to portray the internal feelings and conflicts of a woman in that time, which I felt still very reflective to today.
My name is Ibnu Jamil. My character is Ichang. Ichang di sini berperan sebagai masa lalu dari Nana yang nantinya dia akan hadir dan bisa memberikan sebuah kejutan di hidupnya Nana.
So Ichang here is the past of Nana that kept haunting on her.
Yes.
Because of the condition of the war, things happen to both of you, and then later on, Ichang is a surprise for Nana that changed her life as well and challenged her life as well. Yeah.
I was talking with the actresses earlier that one of the things that struck me is that it's a film of contrasts. And it's something that runs through kind of the visuals, the music, the dialogue. So, when Nana is having to present herself to the outside world, her clothes are tightly bound, her hair is tightly put up in a bun. She speaks very little and doesn't express herself very much. And then when it seems that she's more able to be herself, her hair is down, she's more relaxed. And there's a different feeling in the atmosphere. So what do you think you wanted to do with that kind of effect? And what do you think it has to say about the two sides often women have to have, their true selves and their side to the outside?
This is also something that I always love to talk about in my films as well. And mostly I always talk about women as well in a way that often, especially in a culture like Indonesia, we always have to present ourselves for others, and we have to choose something for others, or we have to depend on someone else, or trying to be able to fit in, or to make it as acceptable in a way. But then the question is like how much rooms that we have actually for ourselves, and who we are actually in that private area, who we are if we sort of like put those thoughts aside and trying to look in. And this is something that I always like to explore in the film as well as in Nana. That's what we talk about also with the cast as well. Our private moment is sort of like our little freedom that we have, and that's what actually Ino gives to Nana. Like that sense of privacy, that sense of liberation when they're just the two of us, the two of them. That's what I explored most in the film.
And for you, what was the appeal of this character? Because it is a very female-centric story, and it's very much the female gaze, or at least trying to get into the mind of a woman's psyche. But what was the appeal for you, and particularly playing this character?
Di dunia ini kehidupan wanita pasti ada sisi prianya. Meskipun memang di sini ditekankan kepada Nana yang punya cerita, dan kehadiran saya sebagai sisi dari laki-lakinya ini bisa menjadi balancing untuk sebuah cerita hidup yang memang complicated banget, dan ternyata rahasia itu setiap orang pasti punya rahasia. Dan itu bisa menjadi sesuatu yang itu mau di-share atau enggak. Dan laki-laki ini ya ternyata itu salah satu rahasianya Nana juga.
Dan waktu itu kan sebenarnya di kondisi itu juga sebenarnya Ichang sendiri kan juga korban ya dari
keadaan. Korban dari keadaan. Yes, betul.
Ibnu felt that his appearance as as a man inside this woman's world, actually.
Yes.
Even during the shooting, yes, so
Yes.
many dominated by women. He felt it's like a balance, sort of, in a way.
Almost all crew.
Almost all crew is a
Yes.
woman. So sort of a balance as well in a way. But what he likes is that the film talks about secrets,
Yes.
and he can really relate to that. That everyone has a secret. Everyone has human in general, despite any gender, they have their own secret and
Yes.
perspective and also he likes that Ichang is also sort of victims in terms of the era, what happened to him and everything. So this film not only says that women are the only victim, but even in this political situation, men are also the victims in here. And to have that little sense of that is what he likes, yeah.
And I wondered if you could tell us a bit about the look and feel of the film, because it's sort of slow burn, it's very understated, but there are sort of shots of moments of violence, and often we're slipping between what seems like reality and what seems like a dream. So how did you want the film to look and feel?
Well, when I trying to write the scenario, I know that the context is, like I said before, it's about like the reflective of time, and I wanted that the time is very fluid in this story as well, and not just the concept of time, because everything that is actually in the film, I felt like it's timeless, like you can still relate to what happened to her even now or even before or even maybe then, also with the political condition, also with the conflict of marriage. I think those conflicts kept coming through time, so concept of time is very fluid, and that's why I also wanted to have that fluidity in terms of treatment and craftsmanship as well. I felt like this film needs a lot of layers and a lot of textures to be able to put all the complexity that comes inside Nana through the surface, so people can experience and things like that. Because Nana is not very expressive, as we know, but this is what always been fun with cinema. You not depend only on one thing. You can really explore. You can show things from other elements, music, cinematography, or even pace and actions, little actions. So when I write the film, I tried to find moments in my memory back then, because the story is also my heritage. I'm a Sundanese woman as well, so a lot of things actually very relate to what happened to my grandma, and my relatives as well. So I tried to bring a lot of memories, a lot of moments that I heard and see and find from these women to be able to put in this. But yes, what always interesting for me is to have that fluidity in all elements that I have in the film.
And why do you think it's so important that women are represented in a kind of nuanced way on the screen? It feels like we're seeing more and more films female written or female directed. I was thinking of Maggie Gyllenhaal's Lost Daughter, for example. The idea of like ambivalence towards motherhood. So why do you think that's so important? And are you pleased that there seems to be a change in the trend?
I have my own process as well to find out what I want to talk about in making a film. Since I make my first film, unconsciously, I always have a female protagonist on every time I write a story. Even though if it's a kid's story, I don't know why, but I always have a female main characters for my story. This is something that I do unconsciously as well. But there are times when I think, like, because film is very personal for me, and I felt like I need to have something that connects me, that I can put my own thoughts, my own voice, and my own experience through the characters. And every time I have a female lead, it's always helpful for me to be able to put my own personal stories and thoughts through her. But then later on, it grows. Then I felt like sometimes in the beginning, I felt like this is just my story. Maybe people not connected at all, but I don't care. This is what I want to make. Turn out people are connecting with it. I mean, I remember I make a short film about polygamy in Indonesia. I felt like maybe people don't connect it because the woman is she need the process. She cannot change the light bulb in a minute. And it's very hard for her to go through this. So she kept like confused and then go back in time again. And I felt like maybe people cannot relate to that. But turns out when people see it, they think like that also happens to me. I cannot change the light bulb that fast as well. And I felt like sometimes I realized that sometimes a woman that portrays in the cinema has to be sort of masculine in a way. They has to be very heroic in a way. They has to be strong and manly, and but there are different types of women, and I felt like I want to contribute on that as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sadly out of time. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us. Enjoy the rest of your time in Berlin.
Thank you, Sarah.